Good evening. This is the Guyana Learning Channel's news in capsule for Thursday, June 17, 2021. Here's a look at the top stories we will be covering. Government to expand the range of e-services. $1.2 billion contract inked to rebuild Lusignan prison. CHNPA warns against impersonators, and in the world of sports, UEFA asks Euro 2020 teams to stop removing sponsor bottles. Regionally, Trinidadians favor anatomy bill, and internationally, Chinese astronauts occupy Tanahi module. With the news in detail, I am Danelli Singh. His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali today stated that the introduction of a single window approval system will facilitate the expansion of a range of e-services offered and aid the country's urban development. Having this system in place will allow for the electronic transmission of building permits, applications, approvals, and issuances. This effort, he added, will be supplemented with investment in transport infrastructure to improve connectivity and support the agro-industrial, light manufacturing, commercial, and tourism sectors. The head of state was at the time delivering the keynote address at the 10th Caribbean Urban Forum, held virtually. The head of state further explained that the introduction of the single window approval system is just one of many examples of his administration's comprehensive vision for urban transformation in Guyana. According to the president, the urban transformation does not happen independently. It requires both visionary and transformational leadership, something his government is all about. The Ministry of Home Affairs yesterday signed contracts to an estimated $1.2 billion for the reconstruction of the Lusignan prison. Home Affairs Minister Robinson Ben said the project will aid in the successful rehabilitation of offenders and enhance the prison system so as to ensure offenders are not at risk to publicly. Home Affairs Minister Robinson Ben said the project will aid in the successful rehabilitation of offenders and enhance the prison system so as to ensure offenders are not a risk to public security and safety. This piece was extracted and modified from iNews. The Ministry of Housing and Water's Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHNPA, is urging persons to be on the alert for fraudsters and individuals purporting to be agents of the CHNPA. Moreover, persons are further advised that individual transactions are not and should not be done in the fields or by individuals making site visits. The only open-air transactions that are authorized and will be honored by the Ministry, CH, and the PA are those conducted at the planned and announced dream-realized activities. Additionally, any offer for land allocations is done in person at the local offices during regular working hours. Prime Minister Honorable Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips on Wednesday activated the National Emergency Operating Center, NEOC, to better coordinate and respond to the ongoing countrywide flooding. Prime Minister Phillips, in his address to the first NEOC meeting, said the activation of the center has come at an opportune time. The Prime Minister noted that the aim is to appraise stakeholders for their participation in the NEOC in response to the current flood situation. The Prime Minister noted that the aim is to appraise stakeholders of their participation in the NEOC in response to the current flood situation and to document and consolidate all response actions to date to determine immediate and medium-term needs. The Prime Minister said agencies involved in the disaster response mechanism must continue their hard work of helping affected persons return to normality. This piece was extracted and modified from the Department of Public Information. And now in the world of sports. Reacting to a bottle-snatching trend at the European Championship started by Cristiano Ronaldo, players on the 24 teams have been asked to stop removing strategically placed sponsor drinks from the news conference platforms, UEFA said Thursday. Ronaldo, Paul Pogba, and Manuel Locatelli all removed sponsor bottles away from the view of cameras when taking their seats this week. Euro 2020 tournament director Martin Callan said UEFA has communicated with the teams regarding this matter. A drop in Coca-Cola's share price this week was attributed by some to Ronaldo's snub, but without any evidence that the two things were connected. Locatelli copied Ronaldo on Wednesday after helping Italy beat Switzerland. The actions of the players prompted UEFA to remind officials with the teams that players should respect the sponsors and the contributions they make to European soccer. This was extracted and modified from Loop News. And now for regional news. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Dr. Keith Rowley says 73% of Trinidadians support two draft bills giving greater autonomy to Tobago. The draft bill, the Constitution Amendment, Tobago Self-Government Bill, and the Tobago Island Government Bill 2020 seek to change the national constitution and give Tobago more administrative powers. The Joint Select Committee chosen to examine the drafts after consultations with nationals and regional experts laid the drafts in Parliament on June 9. According to the PM, the drafts will be debated soon. This was extracted and modified from Trinidad Guardian. And now for international news. China has launched 3 astronauts into orbit to begin occupation of the country's new space station. The astronauts will spend 3 months aboard the Tinahi module, some 380 kilometers above the Earth. It will be China's longest crewed space mission to date and the first in nearly 5 years. The crew was successfully docked with the space station just over 7 hours after the initial launch. This was extracted and modified from BBC. With that, we've reached the end of our broadcast. On behalf of the technical team, thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here on the Guyana Learning Channel for another edition of GLC News. Until then, stay safe, Guyana.